everybody? Welcome back to Throtl. And today we've got some freak content for you guys. We know you've been waiting for it. We left off with the exhaust system. We just created a dump tube so we could start the car. But in the meantime, our exhaust parts actually showed up after a few weeks of waiting. So let's check out the parts we got. So because ground clearance is going to be somewhat of an issue on this car, we're not going to run it super low because it's a track car. We did end up going with oval exhaust system tubing, but this is the only option we have with the ground clearance that we're going to have. Now this is 3-inch tubing that's been crushed down to about 2 1/8, and you can kind of see here how that actually works. So this is a 3-inch tube crushed down to 2 1/8. So this is our transition that's going to go from our dump tube off the back of the turbo, and it's going to switch over to crush tube all the way back to the exhaust system. And then we're also, while we're in here, going to be replacing the bellows that we had initially put on, which was like kind of like cross thatch. This is a much tidier looking part. We wanted to run this in the first place, but they were on back order. We did go ahead and order these slip joints. So as you can see here, we'll weld these into place on the end of our straight sticks. That way we can pull this apart in pieces. And then we also ordered up from Tycon some spring clamps or collector springs so that you can actually weld these guys onto the side on each side. So there'll be one here and one here. And then we got these springs that once you slip the exhaust together, you clip these on. They come with these nice little rubber guys so they don't vibrate on the exhaust, and they're also high temperature. So they don't disintegrate, but this will keep everything together and tension on it so that you don't have any exhaust leaks. We also ordered 2 of these, the 3-inch oval pie cuts. I'm thinking we're probably going to end up just welding a small portion onto the back of this muffler, and we're probably going to do a turn down, which will look something like this off of the back. Oh, well, that's not the right size, is it? That's a problem. What the heck? What the f, dude? Send me the wrong muffler. All right, well, I feel really stupid because this has been sitting here for a couple weeks now waiting for us to start building it, and I didn't realize till right now that they sent me the wrong muffler. So we've got a much bigger tip on here than our tubing that's going onto the car. So we want to get this done. So we're gonna use this as a placeholder for now and carry on building the exhaust system, and I'll go ahead and get the proper one ordered today and expedite shipping, so hopefully it'll be here in a day or two.
Nikki is off ordering a new muffler, so I'm gonna get started on the downpipe. So I pulled it off the car. This is the joint that we're gonna be replacing with the new Vibrant joint, which looks really nice. So I'm gonna have to take this off. I got to get the O2 bung off, and then we're gonna put this little section back up in the car, figure out a good orientation for the O2, and we'll mark that, and then just work our way back. So I've got a replacement pipe that I found in our bin of pipes. I've got our O2 bung cut off and then the flex joint off. So now I'm gonna mimic this section with this, and then we'll put our turbo flange on that, and then keep going from there. We got our downpipe with their new flex joint set up. This is pretty much perfect. This joint is a little bit slimmer than the other joint was, so it gives us even more maneuverability than the other one. So now I gotta take the flex joint off of the other L pipe, and we're gonna set that up here, and then we can start working on our round 2 squished collector.
Man, this looks a lot nicer than the other one, huh? And
it does.
They effectively do the same job, but sometimes it's about aesthetics. It's definitely a better looking part. I'm happy to have that on there.
I've got our downpipe pretty much dialed in, so now we're gonna start working on the pipe that goes from the coupler or quick connector here backwards. This turned out pretty good, I think. And
it's all right.
Average. Not bad. So now the problem is the trajectory of this is kind of coming out and down. So we're gonna try and massage the flange back and up so that we can sit more parallel with the frame rail and kind of bring it out in this way. So this is our main pipe, 6 feet running to the back. So I just spent some time grinding this down and pretty much matching that angle so we can tack weld that in place. And that's cool because that follows the main frame rail pretty much all the way down. So now the next step is gonna be your little slip joint dealio.
Well, it's not a slip joint. It's essentially, we're just kind of, this is a way of doing pie cutting without actually cutting all the way through the material. So we're gonna just put 3 slices in the material here, remove that material where the black lines are. We may have to do 5, we're gonna start with 3, and then we're gonna kink, the blade's gonna remove that material for those cuts, and we're gonna kink the pipe, and then get it to follow the unibody rail, and then we'll re-weld that. So this is actually, we'll never have to get re-welded. This will actually stay intact, that's our pivot point essentially. And then we're gonna just kink the pipe so that it follows the unibody rail, re-weld. And that should get us to where this is nice and straight here. We can get right into our muffler. So let's start with 3, see if we can get the bend right to match this frame rail deal. And then if we can't, we'll go 5. We should be good. All right, so I just opened these up a little more. That bend we need. So you can kind of see once we tack all this together. That's kind of what we're after. And we'll weld all this up. And it creates a nice joint for us. Question is, do we need to go more?
Let's hold her up and find out.
We need a bend in this pipe, and instead of cutting angles and welding, we just cut a bunch of slits and weld like that. Pretty neat to see the amount of angle change you can get out of a pipe just by doing some leaf cuts. Well, we're back on the exhaust. It's a new day. Quinn is working on some other projects, so I'm kind of tackling this on my own. But I did want to give you guys a quick update. We've got our 3-inch downpipe merged into our 2 1/8 crush tube. As you guys saw previously in the video, we went ahead and pie cut this and got this all sectioned so that it follows the frame or the unibody. And it sits in the highest cavity other than the cavity that we created for the drive shaft. And some of you are probably wondering why we didn't run the exhaust in the drive shaft tunnel. And the reason for that is because we didn't have enough room to squeak it above the trans mount. What we're doing is we're actually running it along the outside with the crush tube, which is gonna take away about 1 inch of ground clearance from the underbody of the car. So right now I'm working on a mount situation for the front at the dump tube. We went ahead and just fabbed up a quick little plate that bolts onto the existing, I think this was the old e-brake mount for the e-brake cables that went here and here. Just made a plate, drilled a hole in it to mount on the chassis, then drilled a hole in it to mount these fancy exhaust couplers that we got here. So these are gonna allow a little bit of play on the exhaust. They are rubber isolated. And those are gonna work a lot better for this application than a traditional rubber or urethane 2-hole mount hanger. Having a nice stable mount is important. So we're gonna go to these instead of a hanger style. What I'm gonna do is utilize this subframe brace here that we used previously to make the hose clamp on mount. I'm actually gonna weld just a standoff onto here. That'll just have a simple hole in it. And that'll pick up our new mount, which comes like this in a kit. It actually comes with a bolt, a nut, and a washer as well. But the plate's already laser cut or water jetted. And so you can kind of get an idea. We're gonna mount this guy here, and we'll have a little standoff right here. And that'll pick up our downpipe and keep it from moving around too much. Okay, well I got my little front tab kind of dialed in here. You can kind of get where I'm going. I grabbed a piece of scrap from the subframe support that we made. So now we can weld that on, and we have our tab for our exhaust mount. Alright, well, it's the next day. I got the exhaust taken off of the Freak, and Evan is going to go ahead and burn some TIG welds on it for us. Unfortunately, the gas is running out, so I'm probably going to have to get that filled. He's going to do as much as he can until that happens. Hopefully we get pretty far.
Stacks. Look at the stacks, Vic. It's welding really nice. This is all vibrant material, and it's nice and clean. So when clean materials are welded together, sheesh, it welds real nice. What are you doing, Mick?
I'll just run some Scotch-Brite over the exhaust pipes. It's a very nice stainless steel, but it did come with some printing on it, and we did do the modification here to make it turn with the chassis, so I polished that out with the Scotch-Brite pads the best I could, and cleaned it up, and then I'm just gonna hand pat it down, starting with a little more coarse grit, and then working my way down to a little bit smoother so that it actually
This
shines
is the
up.
finished product here.
No, that's just red
Yeah.
pad. I'm gonna
Okay.
go further with it, but it'll look nice and clean.
Really cool. It's like a matte finish almost.
Yeah, I love this finish. But it just takes off all the fingerprints and all the welding heat marks, and just cleans it up.
What do you got?
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa! It's
This
done.
wasn't here.
Nope.
Oh, you did this too.
Spring clamps, yep.
It's all polished up
Oh,
too.
I know. Did you actually polish it?
Kinda, yeah, a little bit by
Oh yeah.
a little bit by hand.
That's good,
It
dude.
could go more. It's stainless steel.
Oh
so.
yeah, dude, that's sick.
So what's cool is these are just slip fit. So literally you have a positive and a negative, basically, male and a female side.
Take the spring off.
Yeah, and
Push
as
it
long as
off.
you make sure they're flowing the right way so you don't get exhaust leaks, and then the spring clamps just hold tension and everything. But what's cool is these allow the exhaust to expand and contract and move with the bushings, and it doesn't crack.
So it's like a flicked pipe at the same
Basically.
time as a joint. Oh, it's cool, dude.
Yeah, so this is somewhat hard mounted because of the isolators that we use.
Right.
So these will allow the exhaust to do a little bit of wiggling and moving.
So only the center is harmonic, everything else. Oh, that's sick.
And what's really cool is this section just unsprings from right here and slides off. And what's cool is we have a muffler that goes there with the same tip on it and the same length. So you can run either the straight pipe or you can run a muffled pipe with the same, what do you call this, lobster tail? Or
Nah, we're going straight, baby. I like
So,
that.
one other thing I did too to complement the exhaust was I actually heat wrapped the gold foil reflective tape to keep any heat that's going to be coming off the exhaust while we're sitting still. Warming up this while the car's moving is not an issue because we've got air flowing over it and it's going to evacuate the hot gases. But if you're sitting in a staging lane or whatever, just idling, it'll keep from heating up the fuel.
Have we heard it yet?
We haven't heard it yet.
It's fired up.
Oh, yeah.
We've been waiting. We've been waiting for a
We
while.
probably should start it today.
How about we start right now?
Right now?
Right now. Sean?
I'm
You
down.
ready, Sean? Sean's filming something with the Evo, but are you ready?
Start it.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's lower it down.
Quinn, you ready?
Get the fire extinguisher.
You really gonna start this thing right now?
Yes, fire it up.
You ready to hear your professional exhaust, Mick?
Yeah. I mean, this is the first exhaust system I actually built myself. Wow.
That's not bad, bro.
I never really thought about that.
You ready to hear this thing start, Timmy?
When they start it, should I like get a wrench and slap it against metal really loud, like a rock knock?
I really want you to.
Sounds kind of cool, actually. It sounds like a
Sounds like a beast.
Sounds like a muscle car, but that's a 4-cylinder.
That turbo
Yeah, I hear that, dude. That sounds so cool.
sounds so sick.
Oh yeah.
All right, well, that was the first startup with the new exhaust. Sounds pretty cool. I couldn't really hear it, but apparently the turbo sounds really rad, so shout out to Garrett. I have noticed that on a lot of the recent Garretts that we've installed around here, including TJ's, that they have like a...
Them whistle tips go woo woo.
Yeah, I don't know if that's
Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles got woo.
something like, I gotta look into why that's a thing now all of a sudden, but I really think it's cool. It sounds like a jet engine. Very neat. So man, that's great. So it sounds much better. It has a proper exhaust on it that has about as much ground clearance as we can make for being a front wheel drive car with a rear wheel drive conversion.
You know what's next?
Dyno.
Dyno time.
That's exciting and nerve-wracking all at the same time. If you guys have ever done a project that's this involved, dyno is always like, I'm excited though.
Yeah.
I think it's...
So this has been Mickey's brainchild for a while. So what I want you to do is smash the like button, because in the next episode, we're going to the dyno to finally see what this thing can put down. And there's still a bunch of little odds and ends and projects and stuff to finish, but I'm so excited. And that means that we get to go to the track pretty soon.
Yes.
Finally. And see this thing do a burnout, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
So we got some new tires for it from Falcon, so we are going to be putting some RT 660s on here. Maybe we might just leave the 615s on the back and roast them.
Yeah, let's roast them until they're gone. That's it.
That's it.
See you guys in the next episode. Peace.